In this video, I want to start talking about how WP e-commerce handles images. Some of it's a little bit confusing, so I want to make sure it's all clear. So here's our images in our products page or our catalog page, and it's showing us a thumbnail here. And then when we go into the actual product itself, the image is still pretty small. Now, the reason for that is that by default, out of the box, it's set at 148 for our three different image sizes. Now, they're calling this the single product image size. That's the one we're looking at right here. And you can see it's the same as the thumbnail sizes. Now, I'm not quite sure why they chose to do that, but it's easily solved. I'm just going to go in here and I'm going to make this 300 and make that 300 as well. Okay. Now, the nice thing about WPEC, WP e-commerce, is it will automatically resize these thumbnails. You don't have to run a separate program to do it. So let's save our changes and we go back over to here. And now, when we're on the single product page, we get our 300 wide image. We go back over to our products page, our catalog here, and we're going to see that we still have our thumbnails the same size, right? Okay, so that works quite nicely. Now you'll notice, see it's cropped here. Okay, it's trimmed off on both sides. It just takes the center and trims the others. If I go into here, it will show me the proper sizing, the proportional sizing of the plate. Now, you can change that down here under thumbnail settings. Thumbnail's a bit misleading because this is actually for all images. But in this case, I've got crop thumbnails, no, okay? Now, you're saying to yourself, but wait a minute, I did see it cropped over here, remember? That's because the cropping and not cropping, or proportional versus cropping, it really only applies to the single product page image, the full-sized image here. Well, I shouldn't say full-size, the larger sized image here. Full size is if we click on this, right? Okay, so it only affects that. And that's different from a lot of other programs. So just so you're not getting confused, if I say crop thumbnails now, it actually isn't changing the look of the thumbnails at all. It's changing the look of the single product page image. Here we go. Now we're getting 300 pixels wide, but it's cropped. Doesn't change what we're getting on our products page at all. They remain cropped no matter what you do. All right, just so we're clear about that, it's not obvious from what they say in here in the settings, okay? But it is nice that you don't have to go back and run a program to resize them. If you have a lot of images and you change this setting here, they do warn you that it could take a while because it has to stop and reprocess all of them. Okay, so that's something you're going to want to do right out of the box is change these image sizes right here. Now, one of the things you can do when you're over here in products, let's go to a product here. I'm going to add a new product, and this product is going to have multiple images. I'll show you here. Let's find it here under our plates. There it is, fruit detail. I've got three different images for this. Actually, right now, I just want to add this one and make it the featured image, okay? So now it's finished processing. I go down here and I say use as product. Again, it's not a thumbnail, it's the featured image. I'm going to do that. Okay, so now it shows up down here under there. It's a plate. We'll give it a price here of $20. That's great. So now what I want to do, I'm going to publish it. And you'll see down below here, it says manage product images. Now I can add more images to this. And I'm going to do that right now from my computer. I select, and there's my two images. A little bit of detail of the edges and the fruit. Just want to show a little more of the plate. So all I do here is I save all my changes. They show up here. You can see them in the product image gallery here, okay? But they don't immediately show down here. I'll hit update. and they will show up after you hit update, okay? Just so you're not wondering where they went, they are there. All right, so I've updated my product. Let's go to my products page. I'm going to refresh this because I've got this new product here. But let's go down here. Let's see what it's doing here. That's very interesting. Did I forget to put a title? I did. Okay. I'll just call it new plate. That was my mistake. And now we've got our new plate here. All right. So we go into new plate. Where the heck are my images here? The problem is that, and they don't explain this down here, these additional images will not show unless you've installed their Gold Cart Update. It's a paid plugin that you pay to update the WP e-commerce plugin. Amongst the things it'll have is a setting here that would say Show Thumbnail Gallery. Now, the other one that I want to take a look at here is the Lightbox effect. Now, by default, this is turned on to yes. And what happens here is when I click on this, I get a pop-up, which is quite nice. People come to expect that these days. So by default, that's on. If I turn that off, and I save my changes and I refresh my page, I click this and I just get the image. Okay, so it's not as nice looking. All right, so that's something you're going to want to leave on. There is an option here. Let's turn it back on. You can choose a different script. Let's change that. Let's see how this different script operates for us. And up we come. So that one isn't working, and it may depend on the installation you've got. Okay, interesting. So that one doesn't work, actually. We'll switch it back here over to Thickbox. There we go. Now, you may want to disable it. It does mention here why you might want to disable the effect here is if you have some other plugins that do this for you, it might interfere with those. For us, it doesn't matter, and I just want to refresh here, so now I'm back. There we go. That's what we want to see for doing images.